white wine, pizza rolls, and Days of Our Lives divas. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Cheers to Days of Our Lives and the divas that are in the house today. And I'm not even talking about me and Matthew. We're the normal divas in the house. Thank you guys for joining us here at AfterBuzz TV for our weekly recap of NBC's hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. And joining me today is my wonderful co-host,
Matthew Evan Paine. So excited to be here.
Tony. I'm not quite sure where he went. I didn't get the 411. I just know he's not here. But we are blessed to have in the house today. I'm going to do ladies first. Sorry. Miss Lauren Koslow is here. Lauren Koslow is here, and Thaao Penghlis has returned.
You always tip me. And I want to ask, how come you've got an elephant's ass in my...
It's just subliminal messaging.
Oh.
It was a storyline long before you were on. It was like when we first started doing our...
That's right.
It was like the main storyline. I think our first episode, Tony lead into it was like, well, let's get the elephant out of the room or something like that. Like it was his joke.
Yeah.
And we just talked about it
Point his trunk towards the door, though, because that's good luck.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
So you learn something every day?
Yeah. So now the rear's...
Also with us in the booth is Miss Alexis.
Hi,
Say hello, Alexis. If I didn't catch you off guard, I probably caught her off guard. She went to get a pizza roll. There's someone else here, but we'll get to that. We'll surprise them later with our other person who's in the room. So if you see us looking to the side, there is somebody else here, but we'll talk about that in a little bit here. We'll build some suspense.
Yeah.
So let's quickly. Kind of gonna do this. Well, Matthew.
This is the rapid version of DISHIN Days.
We're gonna do like a rapid fire week of days since you guys were not on that much and you were on a lot the week before.
Yeah.
That way we can talk more about that stuff and just have people call in and ask you guys questions and stuff.
Sounds cool.
And Thao's talking about me probably already.
Yeah. I love your hair.
Oh, thank you. So, Matthew, I know on the way here you said, I loved this week.
Mine too.
I don't know that I had the same reaction to this week in particular, but let's quickly do a rapid fire DISHIN Days. All right, let me grab my notes here real quick.
It's exciting, isn't it?
I've never heard of this.
So one of the main, the biggest things is, and this started happening last week with you guys, with getting Clyde arrested. We then saw Deimos helps Xander fake his death and escapes to Greece, while Orpheus, I wrote, Orpheus poorly plans Marlena's death and accidentally kills himself first. That's how I phrased that, because that's literally what happened. I was like, he's like, oh, that happened quicker than I thought. Okay, I'm dead.
Oh,
So-
no. That's so sad.
But true. That is exactly what happened. And then Nicole ends up telling Deimos that Chloe's baby is really his.
Oh, we're really doing rapid fire.
Oh, I'm not messing around. But is it really his? Because
I
wasn't
don't
the
think
thing that
no.
it wasn't his? Yeah. Okay, we'll get into
And
that.
what does Kate think Chloe is? She always has choice words for her.
What? I don't use that word slut. Every once in a while.
No.
What will Kate call Chloe this week?
I know.
What will Kate call Chloe this
It's
week?
always something colorful.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And then Deimos sent his henchman. I love that everybody has a henchman. What's your henchman's name?
I have no idea. They keep
Chad.
changing.
Yeah, I know that. Every time there's a new henchman, I'm like,
Chad's your henchman.
I'm guessing that's probably a role I will never get cast in. I'm just going to put that out there.
Henchman?
That I will never be a henchman.
Ever.
Maybe for Sonny and Paul. I'll be their gay henchman. All right, so then Chad, then JJ got shot by Orpheus.
He was so good this week.
And he didn't do much. He was dying most of the weekend
Yeah,
in a
but it was-
coma. Girl.
Casey. Yeah.
Oh, Casey, yeah.
Girl, he said 2 words this week.
But
it was, and then he went into a coma.
I just believed him, though. I just believed that he was in pain and that he was sorry and
You mean
scared.
you had two sentences and you thought it was...
He was-
That's what
he
I'm
was
saying.
suffering.
I mean, I would have picked a different week to tell him that he was amazing.
Oh, yes. Let's bring these microphones a little
And
closer.
really a wonderful young man he is.
Okay, he was here
Really
not too long
bro-
ago with True, and he was just they were.
She's lovely.
They're so
Yeah,
sweet.
they were
Yeah.
so
Sweet
wonderful.
together. Yeah.
So wonderful. And then there's still this thing with, is Gabby really in love with JJ, or is she falling for Chad? We're getting a little whiff of that.
She dropped Chad like a hot potato. As soon as
she?
JJ, I think so. As soon as JJ got shot.
Well, she can't really just go right to Chad. She still has a thing with JJ. So, I mean, we'll see what happens.
You sure will.
Unrequited love, that's what makes us
Yeah.
so popular, because people yearn.
Yeah.
What do they do?
They yearn.
Then there's going to be obviously something going on with Titan. And I see. Here's what I think, though. I don't. The new CEO who's going to replace Victor, they're making it appear to be Brady or Philip, but I have a feeling it's going to be someone besides the two of them. So I'm wondering if
Oh, I
this
know who
one
it is.
I know you know.
Do you know who it is? You do? You'll have to like.
Oh, let's not get into it. Just say it's
Gabby went to go
exciting
visit
moment.
JJ at the hospital, and she was talking to him, and she said that Ariana wrote his name on the paper, but they were backwards. Stop with Ariana. Stop trying to make
a J and a
work.
J, girl. Get it together.
But they were backwards, is what
Yeah.
she said.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know Ariana, the little girl?
Yeah.
She
cares?
wrote
I'm
JJ's
confused.
name on a piece of paper, which is basically two J's.
Because she knew he was in the hospital.
So she's mastered the letter J and then duplicated it.
So where we go?
Backwards.
So she hasn't mastered anything.
So she really hasn't mastered it.
Are we going somewhere?
No.
No, I'm just gonna bust through this. You just
Yeah,
give me 2 more minutes and we'll get
Okay,
through this.
we'll buzz it.
There was an awkward scene with Anne and Lucas,
Oh, really?
which I don't know
Yes.
where they're going. There's obviously something going to happen with Anne Milbauer and your son.
Is that a question?
No, it was just weird, but it was funny. I have to say, it was really hysterical because she kept wanting a drink, and Lucas was like, "No, you can't have a drink."
Yeah, Chad-
so that was kind of funny to me.
Chad told Lucas that Anne took an Uber out of there in the morning, and then he was like, "Oh, and by the way, you have to move out.
Yeah.
You and Adrian have to get
Yeah.
out of the mansion."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that how they I never knew how they disappeared.
Just
so
like
they
that.
just oh.
Yeah, he just
It was as
Well,
quick
they were
as you
taking
taking
care
over
of
the inn.
the kid, the child.
yes, Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
so,
took over the inn like that.
I did.
But she did not
in
waste
one
any
split,
time.
one
lost
split
a lot
second.
of money.
seconds. Yeah. Yeah.
That's okay,
I must have
Robert's
had my
operates.
eye on that for a long time.
I'm thinking she probably
I'm
did.
thinking decades, probably.
But I love that. I used to say this all the time. I wish Kate would have a home. Like, I hated that they always put you like in the Salem Inn.
know.
Like, I'm like, is it like, no.
Well, I have one.
And then I even lost the Salem Inn.
Yeah.
I just literally didn't have a home.
Yeah.
really sorry.
I didn't. I'm
Brady
so glad
Paul.
when that happened. Which
Yeah,
I think
I was
Dina
very
did that.
yes,
So
yes.
that made me very happy.
Very excited.
I've been
I was
very
so
happy with
excited.
what the stuff she's been doing.
I know, it's really good, isn't
I
it?
feel like she's
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
That's especially that
Humanness.
first week her writing started.
Yeah.
We were talking in here. I was like, she literally came in with like a checklist, like took care of that, took care of that, took care of
Yeah.
that, took care of that,
Yeah.
and I was like, you go, girl.
In 1 week, it was all
Literally
resolved.
fixed
Yeah.
everything that I had a problem with.
Yeah, and I think that we're introducing some of those, like the scenes that Kate and Eddie have in the hospital. We haven't had those kind of scenes for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know,
Well,
the
and you know what
very
else?
intimate-
What?
Yeah.
Well, you made, and another thing that she's doing, let me preface what I'm about to say with this, is another thing that she's doing that I love is like getting back to the families. And you see more like with you and Chad and you and Lucas and stuff. And then you made, you made a phone call to Billy, your daughter. And in my head, watching, I went, oh, she said Billy instead of Chad. I totally thought they aired you saying like you were calling Chad, but you accidentally called him
that's
Billy.
so
that's how my
funny.
demented mind works
That's so
because
funny.
I think of Billy
no, I guess
24/7.
because it had been a long time since I had spoken to
And that
the children, so
yeah. So I
How
love
many
that.
children do you have?
9.
Well,
I have a lot.
counting the
And it's like
Martians,
that. Yeah, it's 7
2 the Martians, the
two-
aliens.
well, children by
Lucas,
another
Billy.
mother. Lucas, Billy, Austin.
Austin.
I love Austin.
Okay, so Rex and Cassie,
Yeah.
Lucas and Austin and Billy. 5.
Five.
Only have 5. No, Philip.
And Philip, yeah.
Look at Philip.
6.
Her
So they gave
baby.
you all those
Yeah.
children.
I had them all.
What?
Thank you very much.
Nobody looks like one another.
I have a big family. Well, they all have probably
All
different. They all have different daddies.
Different daddies.
Do they all?
Honestly.
Everyone has a different dad, don't
Well,
they?
let's see. We have Curtis.
Austin and Billy.
Austin
have
and
the
Billy,
same.
right. And then Lucas is Bill Horton.
Yeah.
And then Cassie and Rex.
Have Roman.
Roman. Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. And Philip is
Victor.
Victor. So they do all have different daddies.
You know, when
Of
you
course
haven't
they
been
look
on the show
differently.
for like 6 years, you forget who did what
Yeah.
to do and who had what.
I
and then-
still forget. I have to Google
You never
a lot.
saw any of that. All of my children, all of the
Happened on-
conceiving part, yeah, that was like in past,
All off
in
camera.
backstory, yeah.
Yeah. All of my pregnancies have been off camera.
I'm waiting for my little
Well,
bastard.
some of them.
It's a much cleaner, neater way
It's
to
much
do it.
cleaner.
Yes,
Much cleaner and
yes.
neater.
I'm
And
looking
you're-
for my little bastards to pop up
I was thinking
You
that.
must have
from the
some.
insane asylum that I was
Hey,
in.
I wonder, maybe I had one, because I had a lot of children, because my eggs were everywhere. So they were kind
Yeah.
of being fertile.
Oh,
I'm
really?
just saying. I'm just
It's
saying.
anything's possible.
You
in
never know.
Salem.
You never know.
And you know,
Are you ready to be a dad?
well, I got Billy.
That's true.
It's just, I must say, since Dina's come back, I remember having a conversation with her, and she said to me, you know, I want to bring out his heart, which I loved. It wasn't one of those where it was going.
right.
So when I had the experience to do that, you know, there's something that happens when you link to your core, and then you work from that. So I loved the way she was going, and without losing the ambivalence of the character or the threatening part of the character, so you can turn her on. So she's given me a place. And so when we saw what happened with the plan,
Yes.
which you will talk about, I'm sure,
Yep.
and how it was revealed and how Billy and Chad and I were in on this together, it just gave it's nice to surprise them, you know, when they're not expecting the characters, and even the stuff that Laura and I play, you know, it's like, how do we make this come off the paper and make it interesting? You realize when you have chemistry and when you don't, and you can't plan that ahead.
Yeah.
You know, and she and I have always danced. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
know what it is. Even her husband, who is a lovely, lovely man who does our makeup and hair, you get used to him after a while, but he's a lovely man. No, I'm joking. He's a great guy. So, you know, that's why when I'm working with her, I miss if I'm not working with her, because she's from the
feel
old
the
school like
same
I am.
way.
And
I
there's
know.
something about the new breed that just comes in and does their lines, and the ones like we were taught where we have to really get into it and bring the gravitas to and the surprise element to the characters that we don't
Yeah.
always get a chance to reveal.
On that, I'm going to use that as a lead-in, and we'll introduce who's here in the house with us since you brought him up. Nikki's in the house. Lauren's husband.
Hello, Nikki.
Who works
How you doing?
on set doing your head makeup. The head makeup dude. I'm sure it says something different in the credits.
I think this
Head
is
makeup dude.
Head makeup dude.
Thank you for and thank you for going to get us the white wine.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. It's going to be a whole nother dish.
He actually did a liquor run. He walked in
He
and
did.
then walked out.
Well, and it was funny because when I got in my car to leave, and I don't know, maybe it's Thaao. I think you just bring it out of me. I was like, I think we need to drink, and then I was like, no, I don't know that they'll want to. And then the first thing he said when he walked in is, "Do we have champagne?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to the liquor
What we
store."
were talking about is that champagne. They're talking about drinking champagne. It helps reduce dementia. And I was watching one of the shows last week, and every time I went to speak, I'm having a drink, and I look like a bloody alcoholic. I'm drinking. I said, if I put that drink back to my face once more, it's like I kept drinking, and I'm going, it's a wonder I'm not drunk in that scene. But
Well, we have 2 bottles,
Was it real
so
alcohol
drink
in the
up.
Okay.
Let me know when you get low.
Okay,
I
button's
can
up.
refill. My bartending skills will come in handy. Thank you for being here, Nikki, and thank you for
Glad
getting.
to
Is
have
it okay
you.
if I call you Nikki?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think there's one other thing I was just going to touch on for this week. Other than the 12 scenes of Jennifer and Hope talking about Aiden, which
Which was
doesn't even
big
need a
snore.
discussion.
did you like it?
I
Jennifer and
don't
Hope?
need 12 scenes of it.
It was the same scene over and over.
They just kept having the same conversation. So, Blanca's ex comes to Salem. That happened this week, so I'll just touch on that. I didn't catch his name.
I don't think he had one.
Okay. And then there's some connection to Teresa. So other than that was the week. And now let's talk to these guys.
We've never done that quick of a recap.
I told you I was doing rapid fire.
In and out. In and out.
That's how I roll. Now let's talk the good stuff. I will say this also, Thaao, what you were just talking about with all the stuff about your heart. I actually wrote down in my notes this week for you. I said, I like that we saw a good side of him, but is he really good? Like, I'm like, I don't know if I believe it.
I don't.
But
Really?
are you saying you don't like his acting? Is that what
No,
you're saying?
I just don't believe
See how I
that.
throw you under the bus?
Watch out for the grip.
I love you, Thaao.
Where were you discovered? Tell
You're
me.
lovely.
Tell me where you were discovered.
I was discovered here today by you. Thank you so much.
That's okay. You're in the will.
I liked it, and I thought that moment at the end with you and Billy, or Chad, when you're toasting and like just kind of enjoying the moment together, I was like, those. I keep finding myself smiling a lot.
Oh, good.
Watching days, like those not cute, but like you remember why you're watching, and then they had the scene with Sonny and Joey. And I was watching it going, well, that's odd that they're in a scene together. And I went, oh no, they're cousins.
They're cousins,
Because it's
that's true.
Adrian's
That's true.
son and Steve's son. And I was like, oh, and like I never, you can obviously tell that they're putting thought into
Right.
a lot of the
Right.
scene work and who's working with who. And you hear people are saying Uncle Steve and Aunt.
And
like
Grandpa John.
Yeah, you
Right.
hear a lot more of that than them just saying, and I don't like when they do that. They're like, they call it by their first. Like if I called my mom Diane, I'd get punched.
Spank it.
Like I don't like when they do that. Like they call them by their first names. Like I'm like, no, don't do that.
Who does that?
I mean, I've seen it, but it's probably not necessarily like parents, but like.
I think Billy used to call me Kate.
Kate,
in the
yeah, and it
beginning,
just-
and
there's-
Austin, but then
they were
Austin
mad at
had
you.
changed that.
Yeah.
He was the one in the beginning who said, I'm going to call you Mom. I know I haven't seen you in 20 years, but I'm still going to call you Mom.
Yeah.
And he just decided to do that and changed it, and that was like the first child that she got, when I've been playing Kate,
Right.
that she got close to. Because,
Yeah.
we did. It was like, we've been estranged for 20 years, but still.
Well, I think that's an important. I mean, I used to say to my mother, whose name was Eva, in Greek would be Evdokia, just throw it as a joke.
Right.
And she would laugh. But for me to address my mother to break the boundary,
Yeah.
I think this is where we have a tendency of doing, because people are so busy with their phones and the rest, that we forget about what the social standings are. So for me to call my father by his first name or my mother by first name just didn't. I mean, I would have been.
Yeah.
So I think we have to show those things. I had to bring up a point that when I was working with Lauren, I won't go into it because I don't want to reveal what the scene was, but it was a point about what's going on today and how that changed, because it's so important to value women, to value how children address you. I think if you don't have those, then you smash the myth of what is supposed to be. And when you do that, then there's no one that you can respect or look up to. How do you understand the transitions of every decade if you don't understand who the person in front of you is? And as actors, we have to understand those social standings. Otherwise, the audience doesn't quite get the meaning of the scene.
Yeah.
When she and I, because we're adults, it's a different matter. When Billy, I won't take, he speaks to me badly. So because there is being older, you own that, the fact that you've existed that long. And so I think they're important points to make.
Yeah. I'm really loving how they're doing that. Like I just feel like the family's back.
It's bringing back the core.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
But
definitely
it's a
definitely.
woman. It's
Yeah.
Dina. Those values are much more understood by women, I think, than by men. Maybe we just take it for granted, but she really is breaking it all down, what was taken away from us.
Yes, I agree 100%.
So
Is there some sort of family tree that they have in production where it says who's related to
the same
who,
thing.
how they keep it all straight?
It's so complicated. I was doing a little research on the show recently, and it is kind of crazy, and it goes back for the 50 years of how people are interconnected, and you would have to constantly be referring to it. But it's kind of amazing, and I'm sure it does exist. It exists online. I've looked at it. It's really
It's
kind of fun
crazy.
research
Yeah.
to do.
That's when you were you here when James? Did you meet James Lott Jr. that hosted with us? He was at Day of Days. I don't know if he interviewed you,
Yeah, I
but
think so.
he was there with us.
Right.
He's our historian because
Yes.
he was always the one
keeps
that
it all straight.
I still will go.
He's from Australia?
Will you tell me?
No, he keeps it all straight,
Oh, straight.
all organized.
I'll be like, tell me again how this person and this person are connected again, and then I get this long text back from him like, this person had this and da da da. So like even the stuff with Orpheus, I wasn't really watching Days then. I watched it, but not like I do now. So
you were too young.
I did. No, I was watching.
child.
But I watched Santa Barbara from the beginning,
Yeah.
which I want to talk about because we didn't get into that last time you were here. I'm not going to forget this time.
I will tell you about the end.
Oh yes,
I'll
that's
tell
all
you
I
about that. He's gone now, so I can say.
Were you on at the same time as A. Martinez on Santa Barbara?
Yeah.
Yeah.
gosh.
Always a gentleman.
That's amazing.
He's one of my favorites.
Oh.
But what you were talking about, the family tree. My uncle in Australia, who's gone now, but he did the family tree. He went back to the 15th century in Constantinople.
Wow.
So suddenly you get a sense of, I don't know what, it's like suddenly you've got this vision. It gives you more depth. It gives you more appreciation, the imagination of what those cultures were about. You know, the Ottomans who invaded Greece and all. So we get back that far. So my mother found out that she came from the royal household. So every time my father tried to do an upmanship on her, she always reminded him who was from the royal house and who was not. So there was always that battling going on between the two of them. So it was interesting, but it was always very important because when we understand our history, we have a better understanding of who we are and what we want to pass on or what was passed on to us.
Yeah.
Because it's in our genes.
Yeah.
And
well, even the stuff now that's going on with the DiMeras and, well, for you it was 5 months ago, but the DiMeras and the Kyriakises with the companies and stuff like that.
It's
like
very
you can
true.
tell that
Yeah.
they're getting, and I said this, well, it wasn't last week because I wasn't here last week, but the week before, the scenes with Sonny and Chad, because they were such good friends.
Yeah.
And even Gabby and Chad, the scenes that they've had together, and I remember watching going, oh, that's right, they were in high school together. They had all these
Yeah.
high school
Yeah.
scenes. I mean, it
That's
wasn't
very
Billy at the
interesting.
time, it was
Yeah.
Casey Dietrich, but
Yeah.
you forget, and that's the thing that
And
I
she's
love is
touching
that
on
I'm having
all of
those
it.
moments where I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
They did that, and this was this. And I think that does add so much more to a show that's been around for 50 years.
does. It's
that
refreshing
other
it,
shows,
yeah.
they're not going to have anything like that.
We have a tremendous history to draw from.
Yeah.
We
Well,
really
you know,
do, and I
the-
think Dina is doing that, and that's how it's being refreshed. Because even with the two families, because that aired last week, didn't it? When you had the DiMeras and the Kyriakises, and they're kind of, you see that they're kind of trying to consolidate,
Yes.
you know, what's going on with
Yes.
this family, and you can just see it's just starting up. You know?
do you know what I like about what you say for the show? Because when I came on, and I was the original DiMera before Joe, because a lot of people don't know that.
Joe?
See,
Mescolo.
I never knew that. I never knew that.
You didn't know that? Oh, yeah.
I knew that.
I recommended Joe to come on because he was in the same workshop I was.
No way.
Yeah, and so that's why we always got along, because we came from the same.
Was it
teacher.
Tony? So it was
Yes.
Tony DiMera.
Yeah. But it was, I forgot about some of those things I did. But anyway,
Look how your family has grown.
but you know what's interesting? You know what's interesting about it? You have the Kyriakises who are Greek, right? And here I am a Greek.
Yeah.
I don't know who what am I?
Right.
I don't know. Are we Italian? DiMera is
Italian.
Well, have you
right?
done your DNA? You probably have a lot of
But
Italian.
we did the DNA. That's why. Thanks for.
Oh, did you do the DNA?
Thank you. We listen to each other. The whole situation about the DNA was that the first thing that came up was I was Italian, 48% Italian Greek, and then what shocked me
So
was that I had
makes sense.
Can I finish? Tunisian, Egyptian, Turkish, Afghanistan.
No way.
Afghanistanian. So all that
All
was
of
there. Yeah, I don't have any white blood in me.
Is that Caucasus? The Caucasus, because I have Caucasus. Isn't that
Yes.
in that area though?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying. Yeah,
So it kind of
something
again explains
common.
because why are you attracted, or why am I attracted to going to Egypt all the time? I found out that my great grandparents were merchants in Alexandria. My great grandmother came from Constantinople, which was now today Istanbul. So suddenly you put all that together, and you're going, oh, that's a nice combo, because it has all that history, all that gravitas to it. So I like that. I mean, it's like Americans finding out they've got Indian blood in them, you know, which is part of the culture of this country, an important part of this culture. I mean, in Australia, if we were Aboriginal, would not be appreciated because we didn't deal with that. It was the Australian white policy, and so we didn't deal with that. But when I went back this time and I saw Aborigines, I can't tell you, I've never seen eyes like Aborigines. It's like you look at their eyes and you see not only just wisdom and centeredness, but you get history in that face. They're the oldest existing race in the world. They're 50,000 years BC. So that because I was an immigration official, so I always find people's history interesting.
Yeah, I was addicted to Ancestry.com for a long time.
I mean, what are you?
I had to
so
stop.
easy to do
I had to
that.
stop because my husband's like, we're spending a lot of money on this.
I know. Nikki started to do it too. So we have our two
It's
family
addictive.
trees going, and like, should we sign up for the full thing? Yeah, let's do it.
What is
Then
that?
Ancestry.com.
Yeah, I
When you
did that.
do your
Someone gave me
deep-
that.
Yeah.
But what happens after that?
You basically can go in, and if you start adding people to your tree, you start getting these leaves, and then you start seeing like
Leaves. You get your little leaf, a little information.
and it'll show you birth records and censuses and stuff, and then you can see
immigration papers,
papers and stuff like that. Yeah,
It's kind of fascinating. You can get a lot. How far did you get?
I've got pretty far. My Freeman name I'm having trouble with. I've only gotten to my second great grandfather. I did connect with some people on my dad's side of the family though that said that there's rumor that this Freeman had 2 wives and 2 families in 2 states. So I'm thinking that that's maybe why I'm having trouble with it. Is that
Are you a Mormon?
no, not at all, girl.
Well, I thought you
What
know.
are your?
Slovak, Hungarian, Dutch, and Irish that I know of. And the Freeman is the Irish, but I haven't been able to find where in Ireland because that's the one I can't get to. But my mom is pretty much Slovak, Hungarian, through and through.
Is that
I
where
have
that
that. I have
recipe
Eastern
came
European.
from?
Next time I'll make pierogi for you.
Oh my God! What?
Pierogies. I love pierogies.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'm so happy with and I want to give Matthew a chance because I've been
Yes.
blessed to
Matthew's
be able to
eating
sit
right now.
with these two
I'm having fun.
and ask all my questions. I want to make sure I give you get a chance to ask them because this is your first time with Thaao and Lauren.
I wore the blue tie for the blue streak.
I'm
Did you know right
seeing your
away?
blue-
What's that for?
Well,
I
streak in her
I told
hair.
her.
I was prompted.
I told
That's
her.
fine.
Oh, you told her.
But I love it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I thought of you
I'm
when I
gonna
was
refill
getting
my
ready to
wine
you
while
so
you guys.
much.
Oh, yes.
Did you used to
I'll
have
Have another glass.
Send that glass down here. I don't know if I can show the label. So.
No, for a short time, I got rid of the blue and I did a red.
Red.
Is this illegal, Alexis?
Are you switching it again, or will you keep? You've had blue for a long time.
I've had blue for seems endless.
true.
Oh, how's it all
Choice was that.
going?
Is it what?
Your choice for the shows.
No, it was mine.
Yours?
It was mine. And
love it.
actually at the time, Gary Tomlin was the executive producer, and I have to say he was very kind about it because I did it and and I was kind of hiding it. You know, it was under here and all this. And then one day I did a scene where my hair was up, and it was a scene with Joe Mascolo actually, and he was in the hospital. So now suddenly the blue is revealed. And I wasn't even thinking about it because I got so used to it and it was kind of hidden. No one noticed it. And I go into the hospital room and Joe's laying there, but what is that in your hair? What is that? Can anyone? And so our
good
executive producer
imitation.
is on stage and he comes over and he's looking at it. And Joe's saying, tell her how terrible that is. And
Joe.
bless Gary Tomlin, he just said, I think we're going to have to add a couple of lines here. And I'm like, okay. It's just what, Joe, say something like, I've married such an original, and they did. And then they were okay with it.
Why did you marry him? Daddy.
I was
Daddy.
I was blackmailed because I had really reached an all-time low. I was trying to kill, Dr. Dan, had him handcuffed to a bed, was on top of him with a hypodermic. I mean, I was gone.
I hope they give us a scene where I propose marriage to you and you slap me. That would be nice.
Make sure you got extra long, extra sharp
I
nails.
I know, it's so complicated, the relationship. But then they got married, and she married because he said he was going to hide everything. He was going to take care of everything. So she was going to either go to jail or an insane asylum. So she married him. But then, she fell in love with him. And he fell, I don't know if he was already in love, but they really did. It turned into really a
I miss
unique
him.
relationship.
I really miss him.
Yeah, I miss him too.
Do you? Well, I guess you can't
He's a tough
say that
cookie.
we're gonna see more flashbacks. Maybe. Are we allowed? No, we can't say
I
that.
don't know.
We
I
can't
mean,
say
I
that.
don't know. I think there's always the essence is there.
Yeah,
Though,
yeah.
Sure.
You know, within the-
He's referenced a lot.
Well, and Billy
Yeah.
or Chad always has like those little flashbacks. That's how
He
they keep
does.
bringing back. Is he'll have a scene with
and
him.
we talk about him too,
Yeah.
because I know I love what Dina's written now that. Because Kate did have definitely maternal feelings towards Chad, and I personally think perhaps she is his
See,
mother.
I keep thinking that
I'm
too.
just saying,
I
it's
keep thinking that
possible
too.
Madeline and she were very close, the whole thing. Anyway, but she, regardless of all of that, she does. You know, I had missed doing that, and she had really mentored him and really
That would be
brought
7, by the way.
Chad. That would be 7. I'd go for that. 7. I like that number. I like odd numbers.
You got a lot of work to do, mister.
So yeah, so we're getting to do those kind of scenes, and when we do, there's a lot of discussion of Stefano too, because he's still grappling with that. Like, what was his relationship to him? He never really worked all those things out. It's like he lost his father before he worked all of that out. So I think she's in a position to help him with that, because to a degree, she lost him too. I mean, just when
Yeah.
she felt like she had found this man who really was right for her. And he betrayed her.
Who,
He
Stefano?
Stefano
that's not a
betrayed her. He
surprise.
set her up. I know.
They're
So
at-
she never got to, figure that out too.
We're in the DiMera house, you know, where I was
We
born.
could say that we got the DiMera house back too.
Yeah, we got
Oh,
that
nice.
got it
Yeah,
back.
it's back. We got the
Well,
full-
I heard
full house is
something
back.
that
The full
it's-
house is back?
Yeah, so it's
Oh,
not
thank
just
God.
that room
Full
anymore.
house.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's
Oh, my
redecorated.
God.
I think we had heard that already.
Some blue.
They're
There's some
asking
blue
in the
there.
chat
Is the
room,
picture of you
and
and
I don't know
Sammy still up?
if you or Lauren can either
I
or
love
both
that.
chime
We
in.
need to get
They're
that
asking
back.
about Joe and how he's doing.
You know, because I go back so many years since 1981 with him, when I was asked to come back and I had to deal with Joe and what was going on with him physically, which was because I could see how he would get agitated. And I remember one day I found the way in because I was like almost dismissed in a way because where he was. I remember reaching his hand, I reached my hand over to his, and I held it there, and he just suddenly looked, and I saw something connect. I said, "Oh, Joe, remember? Weren't we great?" And it just brought the memory back. 'Cause one of the things that is for people who've had Joe's situation, because I had my brother-in-law, is that they remember the past. They don't remember the present
Present, yeah.
or the future. So it's always about the past because that's what is there. It's like going back into childhood. So when I did that with Joe, suddenly the producers noticed that Joe lit up. Joe listened. Joe did his life. So there was a reality going on. So it was, I mean, at one point, I got emotional with Joe, more than one time. And I thought it was so interesting that the writers gave everything to Chad. That the original DiMera, who was with him all those years, who was his, and finding out for the first time that he was my father, is Andre, not Tony, it kind of upset me.
Yeah.
Because suddenly I wasn't left the house. Wasn't left any money.
Yeah.
So with all the
Yeah.
stuff because the young brother wasn't around when he was struggling. I was there to help him through. So it kind of, I went, but now maybe with what's going on, maybe we're going to see some changes, but that as a character hurt me a lot. So I use that sometimes with the brother.
It's kind of interesting though, because it perhaps is something that Stefano might have done, because
Yeah.
he ended up being kind of a cold bastard
Yeah.
a lot of the time, and who knows what went on in his past that he was like that with his family. Like, he demanded everything,
Right.
and yet sometimes did not give a lot back in return. So I think it's kind of fascinating that that's what happened. But we're going to be building on all of it, and Joe's good. He's in retirement now, so
Right.
we all just send him our love.
Yeah. He's missed. I know
He is-
that.
Yes, he is missed.
Very,
But
very
we
It
kind
really
of
became-
we keep the flame alive, though, for
Yeah.
sure.
I have to say,
Sorry.
go ahead.
No, please, you're more important.
You noticed.
Sip your wine. Sip your wine.
that's why I can say that.
The most disappointing thing to me about Joe's exit, other than the fact that he's gone, is that it was Hope who killed him and not Marlena.
I did
think-
the same thing.
Yeah, interesting.
I think he tormented
Yeah.
Marlena
Way more.
Yeah.
way more.
Way
she was
more.
the one.
Yeah.
I wanted this, and this is funny too, because I mean, maybe we'll get back into this because it's all coming up now with Aiden and Hope and everything again. But when they had that dinner, and I don't think you were there. I think it was just all the like Hope and the Bradys and stuff when they had that dinner about him being dead and everything. And for a moment, I was
The
like, okay,
memorial
good.
thing?
She's gonna. Well,
In
is
the
it the
pub?
Brady pub?
I was there.
Were you there? Oh yeah.
Obviously not memorable.
Well, there were a lot of people there.
That was a beautiful scene.
But it was. I was really
good.
hoping that she was gonna say something, and that because I wanted Marlena to enjoy the fact that she, if she wasn't gonna kill her herself, I wanted her to at least enjoy the fact that Hope got her. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
So
I
you
just,
wanted Hope to admit it?
I guess in
Yeah.
that moment, I thought that's what was going to happen. I thought she was
Yeah.
going to tell everybody there, and then
it
it
would
never
have been
happened.
a safe place, and it would have been off
Yeah.
the chest.
But what a shocking thing that it was her. Anyway,
Yeah.
that isn't the kind of person she is. And
Yeah.
so that whole thing was a shocker. Where are we with the resolution of all of that?
With it, right now, it's just he's still he bought her a dress to wear.
Who's this?
I kind of tune out when the whole
Aiden.
thing
Sorry,
comes out.
dress.
I went somewhere. Oh, who are we talking about?
Aiden and Hope.
Aiden Hope. Well,
Blackmailing.
and
He's still
with the
blackmailing
scene,
her.
Is this still on?
With the scene, remember in the
Yeah.
Brady pub though that we kind of said goodbye to Joe, and then the mysterious thing when the radio came on at the end.
Yeah.
that
That
was
was
really
beautiful.
cool.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
I love that.
I remember there was one scene where where I was with Joe, and he had a tendency sometimes to ad lib afterwards, and I had to push his wheelchair out of the room, that closet we worked in for the first year, and I pulled him out, and he was still talking while somebody else was talking, and I remember putting my hand over he was saying thing, and I put my hand over his mouth
No
as he
way.
went up and on. Joe. Because somebody he didn't realize there was another scene afterwards, and so he was still talking in love, and he thought it was so funny with what he did, and I had to put my hand over his mouth,
That's
and he
fantastic.
laughed. He just laughed his head off. I couldn't believe it. He was
So
like a
funny.
child.
The chat room's yelling at me that I didn't
Okay.
remember that you were there, so they're.
Oh, that's
Yeah, they're getting on me.
I had some
They
good
are.
flashbacks there.
I-
Everything.
I also wanted to say, I wish I looked as good as Kate after a car accident. When you came to the hospital, everyone was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" I'm like, how can you tell that something's
I
wrong? She looks just as
know.
amazing as she does any other
I
day.
know.
I wanted them to give me like a
It's
bedazzled.
I know. I
I was
know.
like, she looks amazing.
I
after the
needed
car
like a little bruise or something, right?
At least something.
Little
I'm like-
something. Oh.
Well, we have
I
to
loved
say-
it. I was still fantastic because I just love Kate.
I've got
so
to get credit to Nikki.
Mm-hmm.
I had to wear that scar. Talking about accidents.
That's right.
I had to wear that scar every day. So at first, it was painful because I'm trying to go over my lines while he's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So and I would be there for 45 minutes, and of course I would say to how much longer? So it was and then the scar would move from day to day to shift or whatever. And
Is that true?
I like to do that. I like to play games.
he likes to play games.
See what happens.
But to wear that scar for 6 months.
Yeah.
That one day, I remember saying to Nikki, "It's over. I'm not going through this anymore."
can't have
Without
it
even
anymore.
talking to our producers,
Yeah.
suddenly I appeared and the scar was gone. And I went on Twitter and I said, "Thank God for Chad's money because he paid for my
I think I
operation."
saw that.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's so. Because I did. I think I saw it when it was the teensy tiny scar. I think it was like last week or something. It was just like this little
Yeah,
itty bit,
it's
just
fine.
a little bit right there.
Yeah.
Okay, it's ready for it to go.
I was also going to ask you. I was noticing your
please.
dapper blue suit this week.
Oh.
And I was like, looks a little Chad influenced.
Oh, nothing about Chad.
You were the
I think I wrote my notes as like Chad
You're going
rubbing
to
off
tell me?
on Andre.
You're going to tell me that
I can't
Chad
believe
had
he
an
said that
influence
to
on
your
me?
face.
Are you crazy?
That's your
scared.
face.
I only said that because I'm sitting over here. If I was sitting next to him, I would have never brought
Teo's
that
the
up.
trendsetter.
Let me tell you something. I'm the one that they come up to say, "Oh, where'd you get this suit from? They get it for you? How come I don't have one a suit like that?"
Oh, I love that blue suit.
You know what? It's the cheapest suit I ever bought in my life. That suit was $200.
Really? I loved
that was my
it.
suit.
Was it on sale though?
I mean, it was just
Yeah.
eye-catching, and I just loved it.
It was a Calvin Klein suit, and I couldn't believe it. And let's face it, when you're in a room that's that dark, I always learned if the dialogue that day is not particularly interesting to you, you wear some bright colours. So that blue was.
I loved it.
And everybody loved that blue.
I did. I totally loved it. I mean, I caught my eye from the very beginning. The moment
Yes,
you walked down,
so I just want you to know and make it final that there is no influence from Chad.
Can we get someone to
We
do
love
a
him.
gif of that and
We
send
love
that,
him.
tweet that to
We love
Billy?
We love Billy. But no, fashion is not the influence.
Okay.
I read in Soap Opera Digest years ago, it was after Austin Peck left Days, where did he go, As the World Turns?
He did, yes, he
And
did.
he was interviewed, one of those little quick blurbs at the back of the magazine. Who is your most beautiful co-star? Or in history, who has been your most beautiful co-star? And he said it was you.
He did.
And he said you have the most beautiful skin.
Oh, he did?
I remember that,
Oh
and
my
that was
God.
like...
I said that after our interview.
So sweet.
Said, like, how was Lauren? And I was like, I
Oh,
Yeah.
I kept
please.
catching myself
Oh my
staring
God.
at you. I was like, oh my
Thank
God, her
you.
skin's perfect.
Wow, thank you.
It's just some
I appreciate
strange
it.
things
She
that
should
stick
do
out
a
in your
book.
mind.
Yes, you should.
Should do a book.
I know.
You should. I think
Could you
Deidre
help
was
me write
talking
it?
about that too.
Yeah.
Doing like a skincare or
I
something.
know, I know. It, actually, because I do have ideas, thoughts about it, for
And
sure.
not just
Yeah.
just her skin. It's also her fashion.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, she's got great fashion. Also, she's got the body to make those
Yeah.
moves. You kind of
Thank
always
you,
say
darling.
that. Oh, that's okay. You'll tip me later. But
I will.
You okay? I'll put an
It's
end to it
okay.
if you want.
I'll do.
Oh my God. Yeah, you should hear the conversation. But no, she does, and she knows how to wear it. Having come from a world of fashion in my 20s at that time, you can give somebody good clothes. Doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be able to wear it. It's part of the beauty of that is understanding that the clothes don't take over you. You take
Over the-
of the
yeah.
clothes. So when she struts and when she does it, so that's why I think there's another added element between Andre. See, the wine is.
Best DISHIN Days ever.
Bitch, you gave me that lick. I should. And it's only
Cheers.
Sunday afternoon. I
know.
we're on break this week. But when she and I work together, we both of us have an element, and it's very important that we come from the school that clothes give you attitude, also gives you a sense of the character, and also it gives you the tone of the scene. You know,
Absolutely,
you could
yeah.
wear T-shirts like some actors do, and it doesn't. Nothing changes.
Right.
But you can wear a suit, you can wear a tie, you can be, you know, with a shirt off or something. It's going to give you a different attitude.
Yeah.
Well, don't you think of that clothing? It's your armor. So today, am I going out in heavy armor? Is it light armor? Do I not
Yep.
need all the armor?
Yep.
I'm just going to have a little under.
Yeah.
armor.
Yeah, I
You
just
know,
had to go
it's
bright. Just in case you missed it.
Deidre was telling us when she was in the studio that she'll see you at 6 a.m. and you're flawless, your wardrobe is on point.
She's very kind.
And what was she saying about wanting to go shopping with
Yeah,
you? or
she
that
said
you
she wants to
offered
take you
her-
shopping. Yeah.
I think
No.
we were supposed to go shopping this week. I think we because I do. I mean, I love clothes. I'm like you, Thaao. I mean, I love them. I started out as a costume designer,
Right.
so I love all that. So yeah, I mean, I do find great joy in putting together Kate's, costume. Our costume designer goes out and buys a bunch of clothes, and then we're picking and choosing. And it's great fun. Like Deidre, really doesn't.
Yeah.
It's so funny, and I can't, I still can't grasp it. And she'll be like, "Let's go shopping because I want you to help me to find clothes." And I'm like, "What? How could you? What?"
And it's like a blazer and a, right, a blazer and a button down. Or,
so we do. We'll have, and it is kind of fun. And we'll go out there, we'll circle around like Bloomingdale's or whatever, and I'm pulling things. Then we go to the. Is it okay to try things on though? Because I love trying things. I mean, you have to try everything on, make sure. And she's like, "Oh, do I have to?" I'm like, "Yes, you
Yeah.
have to." So we'll do it. I mean, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty funny. But we've had some successful shopping trips. I'm not sure that she's worn all the things that I picked out. I'm not sure. I'm trying to get her out of plaid shirts. And I'll say that here. I'll send to her. It's like, no, Nixo and the plaid. Oh, wait, and so we'll see. We'll see her all day.
That's her very Americana side.
Yeah.
And she wears that with the jeans.
But
Yeah.
I think
And
it's
it's not
like
like
an
her.
easier thing. And she'll admit
comfy.
it. Like it's just what's comfortable.
Yeah.
But then again, she does want to try other things. I mean, she really does. So
Well, sometimes I'll go
That's
to
a working
Costco, and I don't know about you, but sometimes I can't be, after weeks at work, and where you have to be in makeup every day, where you have to look fine and all the rest of it, you just want to say, you know what, I'm playing alfalfa today.
Yeah.
My hair is up, whatever, and I go, and isn't that the time when you go to like Costco and you're doing the trolley like you're some ordinary person, and the Armenian women who are big fans of the show love to stop and take pictures, and my hair is like that, and you want to say, why didn't I do something about it before I left? But you don't, you don't
You
always
don't have
to.
sweatpants on or anything, do you?
I've done that, yeah.
No.
I do like comfort sometimes.
No,
you know?
no. That's for the
not at
privacy of
Costco.
your home.
Oh, no. I don't wear pajamas out in public. But
Okay, good.
no, but when I dress, it's just that I get tired of the glamour of it.
Yeah.
You get tired of being glamorous?
Well, you know what I mean.
Thaao?
Words
You're
I've
ready
never
for the
said.
camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why when I have a dinner party, you're just natural and real. And people say to me, "Oh, do you mind if I wear shorts?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's where I draw the limit.
Yeah.
I mean, you're having a dinner party. Who wears shorts at a dinner
If
party?
you're coming for brunch, you can wear shorts.
You should
Yeah, I
dress
mean,
for
that-
dinner. You should
Huh?
dress for dinner.
Dress for
But
dinner.
doesn't
people
have to be-
ask that. Then the other thing that they ask, which really bothers me, is that they always say to you, "So, do you want me to bring something rather than
What can I
I'm
bring,
bringing-
or just bring it?
why don't you know what my answer is now? Oh, why don't you surprise me?"
Yeah.
Because I've seen people come to someone's house, and being Greek, I remember saying to an actor who came to my house, I said, "Your hands are always empty," and they never came back for 3 years. So it's that, or someone who comes with 2 bottles of $3 wine, and then has the audacity to open them up and put them on the table that you've spent 3 days, the shopping and the cooking,
Yeah.
and doing a wonderful dinner, and they bring you wine that you basically use for cooking. And I remember someone did that to me, and I said, "What?"
He has scary,
I'm gonna-
scary dinner parties.
I do. I haven't.
You
I did
must
DiMera mentioned.
when I moved to LA, because there were so many of my friends that I was working with at the restaurant that didn't have family here, we started doing what we called a Misfits Christmas, and
Oh,
we would
yeah,
all just
yeah,
get
yeah,
together
I
and do
see
like a
that.
potluck.
Yes.
Well, then I kind of took over and just started doing it every year for everybody, and I would cook all day and do those
Yes.
stuff. I had a neighbor. This was like 2 or 3 years ago, and when we were walking our dogs, we met her because she had a dog and stuff, and so she was really sweet, and I was like, "Oh, you should come to our Misfits Christmas," da-da-da. And she's like, "Well, do I need to bring anything?" I'm like, "No, I have a soup buffet, I have a dinner.
I do
I
everything."
do everything. You don't have to bring anything." She's like, "Well, this is the best part of it. There's this Mexican place, and they have such great food. I might get something and bring it. Is that okay?" And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. Whatever. If you want to feel like you want to bring something, that's fine." Girl brought Baja Fresh to Mike. I was like, "Did you just walk into?" I did the exact. I was like, "Girl, you did not just bring Baja." And what even pissed me off more was everybody went to the Baja Fresh, and I was like, "No!" And I made chicken salad, macaroni salad, lentil salad. I have a
Right.
soup buffet, a dessert table, and you are going to have the audacity to eat Baja Fresh off a plate? No!
it.
Get that out of my house! I was so upset. I was
Oh
like,
my God.
So-
That's too much. That is too
I have a neighbor.
funny.
That was I had to draw the line. I was like, no more.
You're right.
This Mexican restaurant I like. That's how she phrased it. This Mexican restaurant. Girl, it's Baja Fresh.
Y'all know about it.
Let's like bring it.
Well, that's why when someone says, "Can I bring the dessert?" and I go, "No."
No.
No. Can I bring the salad? No. I mean, it's like, "Oh, you don't want to bring?" No. Why don't you surprise me? Like, why don't you bring a bottle of wine or something? Because
Yeah.
people drink a lot, and sometimes not that I've ever run out. But I remember growing up in Australia where my mother did such a spread. And I sent one of my dearest friends, her husband, who was an attaché, goes to Australia. He says, "I've never seen a table like that."
No.
So I was brought up, as poor as we were, my mother always made sure that we looked rich.
Yeah.
And someone said to me, "Oh, Thaao, even if you were broke, you're still serving lobster."
Yeah.
It's about self-esteem. And people don't get that. It's such a personal thing when someone invites you for dinner.
Yeah.
I mean, in New York, you don't do that. But out in California, where everything is so casual,
Yeah.
people really don't have an idea because they don't do dinner parties. Have you noticed how that's kind of died?
Yeah.
It's like a dying art.
Yeah.
That people don't have dinners anymore. I mean, I keep being invited by Nikki and Lauren.
It's so true though that
so
we
true.
don't, and it always ends up being in a restaurant. I mean, and we actually have.
You want to know
Unless
why
you're
he doesn't
putting us
make
on
it
that
to
spot.
dinner parties?
Why?
Because he doesn't drive after dark.
Ah.
No, because I have Oh.
Call me. I'll come pick you up. I'll take you.
We're gonna have to Uber.
Let me give you some
We
big...
need Uber though. We have Uber.
Uber.
Because we're a little bit.
Yeah, you're
out
out.
of town.
You're out of.
We're
you're
out.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, who lives out there anymore? But
A lot of people that we enjoy the fresh air. Thank you very much.
But I'm talking about the
And we-
convenience of getting to work. I live 7 minutes from the studio,
Oh wow.
so that's really
Nice.
great.
Yeah.
I like the commute. I don't mind the commute.
Now, well, Deidre
to
comes
getting
from
out of the city.
Malibu or down there,
Yeah.
and I'm going. Could you imagine another half hour? I mean, firstly, I've got to watch my news in the morning so I can stimulate the part of my mind so I can sound intelligent. You know, and I
That's
love
what your
to-
commute is for.
And I
Because
love
you're
when-
listening to
What
the radio.
always sound intelligent.
Exactly.
And then I'm watching the politics because I know you and I are on opposite ends of the spectrum, which I still can't understand.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, he likes Trump. Oh my
No, I
God.
don't like
No.
Trump.
You do.
No, I do not.
You don't?
Not to,
No, I
Oh my
don't.
not to change
Other
the
than
subject.
my burning, I'm a
A lot
burning.
of yeah,
you
there
know
were
what?
lots of
I'm a Bernie.
candidates,
You
and
know
everyone
what?
should
Whenever
feel
I
free
get
to.
a job, inevitably I get a job furthest from where I live. It never failed. You talk about being
Yeah.
5 minutes
Yeah.
from the studio.
Mm.
You know,
I assume you guys go in together.
What time do you have to
No,
be there
we
every day?
don't.
No.
because
Oh,
he likes
I
his
go to work
private
at
time, so he
6.
can.
You have to be there at 6?
Watch when I like to get there. Yeah,
Okay.
everything's set up.
He gets there, and he goes in every day, and he gets in there super early.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to be
later.
there.
Yeah, our hours are different. Well,
The
sometimes
trouble
I
is,
do.
when we're
Yeah.
doing 8 shows a week, not that we're in every show, but it is
Damn
a
it.
very demanding. No, I wouldn't want that. I think it's good when people miss you. You know, I think it's characters. It's good when you're not on all the time
Yeah.
because then they wonder where you've gone. But there's the amount of pressure now that's changed
Yeah.
since 2009 when I left. That you can do that many shows in 1 week and they take you right to the edge, and that you have to do it in one take. There's no time between you and the director to say, bring this element out. Now we do have a good executive producer, Alar, and he does give us notes sometimes, and very valid notes. But my God, when we had that luxury of doing 8 hours of that whole day, it was kind of wonderful. That's why those shows in the 80s and the 90s are so great, because we had the luxury of having that.
Yeah.
Now, you know.
You literally are doing it in one take.
You know, if you've got a
Yeah,
pimple on
yeah.
your face, no one's going to cover it up. It's not that fast.
Yeah.
You know, it goes that quickly.
But there's a certain energy that comes out of that too.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like a theater. You don't have the rehearsal that you do in theater.
Right.
But it's live. It's like it's a balancing act, a high wire act. And I think that if you prepare for it, we kind of do this. You prepare, you run your lines before, then you go in there, and you have all that energy, and hopefully.
I always go to her room.
Yeah. So do you guys, I wrote this down, and I don't know this is necessarily you guys right now, but there's a lot of flashbacks I've been seeing lately. I think it's just the performer in me. I was just curious. Do you know when you're doing a scene that they're going to have a flashback in that scene?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they do. You
Yeah, you
usually
pa-
will they pause?
You
Have you
literally
paused?
pause. You literally
Okay, and then you
pause.
pick back up. Okay.
Your eyes go.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
eyes go dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they.
So how do they know that you paused? I'm kidding! I'm kidding!
More wine, anyone?
I know, see? That was your idea.
What?
This.
Do you want another drink?
Which?
The wine.
No.
Wine.
It
It was your idea.
You're worse than I am.
Matthew, go ahead.
Yes, Matthew. Come on.
I'm literally in the middle of this.
Literally, physically in the middle of it.
Do you think this interview is going to come off as intelligent? Do you think?
Who gives a shit?
I do.
Sorry.
Oh, we made
We're having fun.
Here,
Wow.
Mark. Here.
I see. Okay, so let's do. Yeah,
it. You know what? I think skip it.
no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
What's that?
I
What do you
know,
say?
it's-
We're just having fun with you guys.
It's
Oh, okay.
2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep drinking and talking,
We're doing
Alexis.
this.
No, it's
Talking
interesting.
shop.
I mean,
We're
they do
having
that at the
fun.
Today Show in the mornings. They
Exactly.
do wine. I mean,
That's
look at how they operate.
Yeah.
Thaao, you know what's
No.
interesting? When I first started on Young and Restless, it was a half hour, and Bill Bell was still alive when that was going on. But the show was a half hour, and we'd start off with a table read, and then we go do a rehearsal, and then we do a dress rehearsal, and then we tape. And
Wow.
we ran out at 4:30 every day.
Wow.
Wow. Could you imagine having that?
One show though.
One show.
No, well, I mean, I do remember those days. It
Yeah.
was really, because on Bold and Beautiful, too, that we, in the very beginning,
was always a half hour.
we had a table read, though, in the very beginning.
Well, you're in the Bold and the Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
It's the
from the
first-
original episode when they started out, which
What
was
were
a
you gonna
unique
ask?
experience.
You were going to ask about
Oh, Santa Barbara.
Yes.
Do you mind?
No.
I know you probably didn't watch.
Before we jump in, I have
ahead.
one quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Present company excluded. Who's your favorite day's talent to sit in your chair every day?
You can't say her. So besides her.
And besides this gentleman.
No, don't. He's very particular. Stop that.
Who's a pleasure?
Say Billy Flynn.
They're all great.
No.
I mean, they're all great.
No.
Billy and I
He does do
joke
Billy.
around. I mean, we're like brothers. You know, we joke around and we have a lot of fun. I get angry with him because he eats at my special effects station.
Who Billy does?
Yes, he eats his lunch
He
there.
does.
I'll talk to him.
He says he wants to be close to you, though.
He does. He wants to be close.
Yeah, keep going, because it's not interesting right now.
True is kind of. I love working with True O'Brien.
Oh,
He
great.
loves
She was in here, what, a month and a half
yeah,
ago?
about a month or so ago.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a very talented kid, and she's very she soaks everything up. She wants to learn everything, and she's a good reader. And yeah, I like working.
She's not a narcissist at all.
No,
Yeah.
not at
That's
all.
what I liked about
Not
her.
at all. Not
Yeah,
at
she's
all.
lovely.
So that's why you don't like Mark.
You didn't mention me. Oh, Mark. Oh yeah, I love it because every time I see him, I think his hair's gone up because there's something
Well,
scary.
it was funny because he just was at the theater a month ago, maybe not even that long ago, and I saw his name on the ticket, and I messaged Tony and Matthew and I said, "Oh, I think Thao's going to be here tonight." I doubt that there's two Thaao Penghlis in town, but
You never know.
You never know. And I was sitting at my desk, which is like the furthest away from where the ticket window is, and I was like, oh, I don't think he'll remember me. I don't know if I'll have to say,
What?
you know, I'm from AfterBuzz. I just didn't think you would remember. I don't know. I just
God.
didn't think you would.
You've been such an influence
And he
in my
like
life.
yelled to me from the ticket window. He's like, hey!
I was so
I was like,
shocked
oh,
to see you.
he recognized me.
Oh my God! At least I knew that we don't go to the same hairdresser. That's the one thing that we have in common.
Same hairdresser?
No,
Oh.
no, I couldn't.
Me and you.
No, it's frightening.
Can you imagine if Thaao walked in with the
I know.
This is actually
I know.
tame. This is short.
That
This is
tame's not
really.
quite the word I
Can
would
I-
Yeah, but you
use.
have
Short,
great
yeah.
hair. You have great
Oh.
hair.
I have a lot of
It
hair.
has a lot
Yeah.
of.
Well, I sprayed a lot today because
You
I knew I
did,
was going to
yeah.
be sweating
You
and I wanted to look
Yeah, I
good.
know.
for you,
This is
'cause
why I get it. I love it. I appreciate it.
Lauren's going to be there.
I
gotta look good.
appreciate a good dude.
And one last question, then we can
Go
jump
ahead.
into
Yeah,
Santa
yeah, yeah.
Barbara
No, go
stuff.
ahead. I have another one here too.
Which-
We haven't even finished. Sorry, we haven't. You asked me about Santa Barbara. Where did that go?
We're just about to.
He's-
I just
he's
have one
getting
more
in
question
his-
before. I
It's
just want to get him in
coming.
before.
It's coming, Thaao.
Yes.
Well, no,
Oh my God.
I know.
No, and I want to get it in because I didn't get it in last time.
Okay,
So.
who do you spend time with from cast outside of work?
Billy Flynn.
Oh my God.
I know. That's. Tell me about it.
I would say Christian Alfonso and this darling dear man right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who do you spend time
And
with from the
Deidre.
show?
And Deidre Hall.
Yeah.
Yes.
I said and I feel like you, maybe it wasn't probably recent, but I feel like you've posted photos of like dinner parties that you guys have been at together.
Yes.
Is it your Twitter that I've seen them on? I know I've seen that you guys, and I was like, oh, that's so great that you guys are.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's so funny. I think because you spend so much time with everybody, that when they go home, they're kind of relieved.
Yeah.
And then when you bring them together, I wanted to bring, because I like Nikki. I think he's a great man, and of course Lauren. She's just one of those ladies that you come in the morning and she's
Yeah.
there's no one like she is consistent. I remember
Someone else told me that too before I had met you. Somebody that I knew from, maybe it was Kirsten Storm.
Really?
Because she dated a friend of mine, and so I talked to her a lot a long time ago. And she said that I said, tell me about Lauren Koslow. I want to know about Lauren Koslow. She's like, she's just so good. She just comes in, she does what she's supposed to do. She's so nice, and she just leaves. It's not drama. It's not like she just gave
I
me
like
the
that.
very straight. I think it was her. It had to have been her
Yeah.
because I was trying to think
Yeah.
who else did I really know.
Deidre said something similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get there early. You're smiling. You're ready to go. You
Yeah.
always are.
Well,
She gets a little drama in my chair.
I
thanks.
would pay to
it's when he
see it.
misses an
Comes
iPad.
along with
Someone
this.
take his microphone away.
What's this? What's this? What's this?
I do. I know. That's long running, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know. Well, because I did my own makeup for so long. It's hard for me to
But
give
she's,
up control.
she is, I think, more than any other person on the show that I know, other than Christian, who are consistent.
Yeah.
For me, because I remember an actress that I worked with, pretty big actress. She turned around to me one time. She said, "What's your problem?" I said, "Consistency." And I never realized what it does to you on a daily basis, that when you come in and you're being greeted, this man is always consistent, always greeting. I'm going to take from my own experience. Now, he may respond to somebody else, and she may respond to somebody else differently.
Right.
All I can talk is about my own experience. These two people are very consistent. They're loving people. They're friends. I trust them. I know that when I turn my back, they're not going to say, huh.
Yeah.
You know, that's the beauty of it. But I know there are some actors that don't do that. They come to you and you go, when you turn, they'll go, So that's what I love about them. It's a trust issue.
Yeah.
And after all these years, the one thing that happens when we go to work, I look forward to it, especially when I'm working with her.
Yeah.
And Nick is always so wonderful and generous. His generous spirit. So it when we come together, it's who you exchange with that it brings the level of work together.
Yeah.
And so when she and I work, you know, I can say something to her and she can say something to me, and we're not going to go, what? You know, there was one actress I kind of hit on the arse as they were leaving the scene because they were so. She eventually told people that I grabbed her ass. So it gave me a reputation, and they, oh yeah, you know him. He likes to grab asses, and I'm going, what? So that was. So I remembered that, and I went. So when I see that person, even today, there's always a mask. She doesn't have a mask, and neither does he. Billy's very good that way. You know, he's pretty consistent even when he's down.
Yeah.
So the DiMeras, when they come together, we enjoy each other.
We do.
You know, we really
Bottom line,
are.
DiMera is number one.
Yeah,
It's like
Tamara's
a real-
role.
Santa Barbara, do you
I
wanna
will
do it?
say this too. I don't know if you watched when she was on last time. Did he watch you when you were on last
I
time?
don't think so, no.
You should watch it because I have to tell him. I made her blush about you. Because I asked her, I said, did you know that you guys had met on
Young and the Restless?
Young and the Restless?
Yeah.
And I think I said something like, I said, so like, were you like all like excited to go to makeup? And she got all much. She's like, oh my god, I was. It's just a really sweet moment. So if you didn't see it, you should watch it because it was nice to see that
It's true.
genuine love and adoration. It was very sweet.
I love that.
So yes, let's get into because I kicked myself after we left the last time because I didn't get to talk to you about Santa Barbara because Santa Barbara was my everything, and I've been actually going online and watching old episodes just to. It's just so good. And did you watch?
Well, I have to say, when A. Martinez came on, I mean, I had seen it a little bit. It was the time that I was on B&B, and so we would run into people from Santa Barbara when you do photo shoots and stuff. But when A came onto the show, I wanted to, because I remember Cruise, and I wanted to see.
Yeah.
So I went on YouTube, of course, to look, and I saw a scene, and you're probably super familiar with this, where he and the Marcy Walker character did
Eden.
Well,
Eden and Cruz, yes.
Did this scene with the jukebox? With the dance?
Oh, yeah.
Are you kidding
Yes,
me?
yes.
That was so sexy.
I
It was
just
so-
watched that too the other day.
What were there 2 lines in that? They were like.
It's so good.
It's so good. I was like glued to the YouTube. Watching it, it was just wonderful.
There was a scene I watched not too long ago too, and it was all the Capwells sat down, and Mason's mom, who's a different woman, she's not the mom of the other kids, she's at the table, and it's just the scene. I mean, and I think again, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys had a lot of rehearsal. And it wasn't just straight to there was a lot more put into it. So I can't really talk about that, but it was just so good.
It was rich looking, that show.
It was rich.
was.
Yeah.
Santa Barbara had that element of it.
Yeah.
The tunnel, this tunnel that's now at the DiMera house. Every time they talk about the tunnel, I think of the tunnel that connected the Capwells and the Lockriches because it was always they were the two.
tunnel
There was a tunnel that connected the two enemies. Yes, it was everything.
We need to do that.
I know.
I don't know. Some of the great love stories have tunnels.
Yeah.
If you look at the
Love
great love
that.
story in Egypt of the great female pharaoh, her engineer, because he was below her status. He created a
Tunnel to get her there.
and they used to meet in the middle.
So romantic.
And the way he couldn't reveal to the world that they were lovers. Before he died, he had a little drawing at his tomb that showed the two of them together. But you had to close the door to see it. So when you opened the door, no one could see
my
it.
God.
So I just thought it was kind of a one
Yeah.
element.
That's fabulous.
But I have to tell you something about Santa Barbara.
Yes.
Who was our executive producer?
I forget his name now. And it's funny because Louise Sorrell was here not too long ago.
love Louise.
And she had a lot to say. She was
I love
amazing.
Louise.
I accosted her at the theater.
Yeah.
Shale, did Rudy Vehar direct that show?
Who?
Rudy Vehar.
Was that?
Rudy Vehart. He's
The
a
director. One of the directors.
I was only
maybe.
on Santa Barbara for 9 months,
Okay.
and you know what he did to me? That producer, he asked me. You're
Not
looking
Bill
it up?
Glenn.
No, it's
I'm Googling
No, not Bill Glenn.
oh God.
Not Bill
What is his
Glenn.
name?
No, it was not associated with anything.
No, his name. His wife was a violinist too.
I'm pulling it up.
Okay. Google it.
Anyway, so you know what he did?
What did you do?
He approached me and he said, "Listen, we'd love for you to come on Santa Barbara." I said, "Oh, okay. Let's talk about it." So he says, "Oh, I'm going to have you and Kim Zimmer. This great love story."
Kim Zimmer was on the show.
She's the only actress who grabbed my balls 3 times.
We got our
what?
rating.
Excuse
We
me?
got our explicit rating.
Excuse me?
Meatballs.
You're what?
So I'll get to that point. I'm sorry.
Dobson.
You were
Creative.
playing,
Moving
you
this
were
a
playing
little closer to
tennis?
Hello.
The Dobsons,
Better.
yeah.
No, but who was the? Oh God, how could I forget him? He said to me, "I want you to come on the show. I'm going to do this location shoot in Lake Como with you and Kim Zimmer. It's
In
going to be this
Lake
great. Como, we're going." So I said, "Oh, that's great. I like that." So I said to my agent, "You know what? I'd like to," and I love
Pizza.
Kim Zimmer. I thought Kim Zimmer was such a good actress. So you know what? I signed the contract, then I went on the show and I said, "So when do we go to Lake Como?" He says, "Oh, they've cancelled it."
No way.
I suddenly realized who I was working with. And so I said, "Oh, okay, yeah, really? When did that decision come about? Was it before you spoke to me or was it after?"
Why?
And anyway, he said, he came to me and he goes, I said to him, "Do you mind," I said, "if we get some better lighting on the show?" He says to me,
No.
"How dare you?" He's sitting now on his desk. He says, "How dare you? I have Emmy-winning, award-winning actors on my show." I said, "Not on my face, you don't." And so he didn't speak to me for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Didn't speak 2 weeks.
Thaao.
What?
Ruffling feathers. Ruffling feathers.
Not on my face, you don't.
Well, it was, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
I mean, I see sometimes lighting and you're going, really, is that necessary? The actors stay healthy. They get the right
It
amount
can
of
make it or
sleep,
break it,
and
for
they
sure.
arrive for the
Yeah.
scene.
They really
and
can.
some lighting director is busy talking to somebody. Like at one time recently, when I said,
I'm sure it wasn't
"Is
recently.
that my light?" Oh, it wasn't on.
And then we had too much light today.
Oh.
It's better now,
I don't
though, right?
know.
That was another.
It looks good on.
That was
it looks
another
good
one. The
online.
lighting.
It looks
It's
good
Deidre
on.
Hall who
How's
taught me all
your
about
How's
that.
your
Yeah.
water? How's your water?
I think we need.
I
to
don't
do
know. I
segments
haven't
really
tasted it. I've
quickly.
been telling you the water.
Okay.
All right, so let's just jump back to DISHIN Days for a hot millisecond, and we'll do our segments real quick for this week. I'll let Matthew is going to do his first Alexis. You don't even have to worry about the sound cues. That's how
we'll
we're
just do,
rolling today.
Matthew's choice this week
I had to find mine.
goes to the wonderful scenes between Deimos and Nicole. This is a twofer. The first scene between Deimos and Nicole got very hot when Nicole told Deimos that Chloe's pregnancy was actually Deimos's child.
Yeah, this
He
is pretty
freaked
hot.
out. This is just a still shot. I'm not showing.
Oh, you don't have the video.
No,
Oh,
I just
okay.
have the quotes. Deimos says to Nicole, "I would never lie to you about something like this." Nicole said, "I see. So there's bad lies and there's okay lies." Deimos says, "This is my child we're talking about, my future." And Nicole says, "My child, my future." He says, "Don't turn this around. This is about what you did, and what you did was unforgivable." Then he slaps those moving crates.
Oh yeah.
And then the next scene,
Which I wonder if it was improvised. I think.
I
That was
actually think it
improvised.
was because she jumped.
Yeah.
I liked it.
You're talking about the week before?
This is
This
this
week.
That was this
This
week.
week.
Yeah.
Friday. actually.
You know,
think.
Kate warned Nicole
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
this was not going to be good.
No.
I mean, she warned her, and look what's happening.
Yeah.
Well, but I have
Yeah.
to say with that storyline, I'm glad that she said all the stuff that she said in that
Yeah.
argument, because it was like he is kind of being What'd you say? Okay, thank you.
We're winding down.
Is that I love that she called him out. She's like, wait a minute, you can't pick and choose what's bad and what's good.
Yeah.
You're like, how is it bad what I'm doing, but
Right.
you've done this, this, and this, and that's not bad, and I'm supposed to be okay with it. So.
And I think he really showed his mean, dark side in the next scene when he said to her, "I have to wonder if any child would even want you for a mother in the first place." And she lost it, and she said, "How dare you say that to me when you knew I miscarried 2 babies? How dare you?"
Yeah, and she slapped
And
him.
she slapped his face, which he deserved.
Trouble
So
in
that was
paradise.
Matthew's choice.
My quote of the week this week, I'm glad everybody's sitting down because I never thought I'd utter these words. My quote of the week this week goes to Rafe.
Oh my God, really?
I'm sorry, I literally did laugh out loud because it was when when Hope calls him to help defuse the bomb. And he says, I'm not the one you should call when you want to defuse a bomb. If you remember, him and Hope kind of had an issue with a bomb not too long ago. So I just thought it was absolutely hysterical, and I love that they had him say that line. Like, it just tickled me. I thought that was so cute. And then I'm going to give my fan of the week this week too. I think I discussed this last week that I don't know what Tumblr is, but I'm on it now.
Do it.
And somebody messaged me. So we who serve art wrote me a message. So you're fan of the week on my Tumblr. I don't even know how I found it. I don't know what Tumblr does still, but you're my fan of the week because you messaged me on Tumblr. Huh?
We Who Serve Art.
We Who Serve Art.
Perfect.
I think that's who it is. So he gets my fan of the week.
And now on to news and gossip,
Yes.
which we will bang through for the last few moments.
AfterBuzz TV.
On November 12th at City Walk, Universal Studios, they will be having the Day of Days for Meet the Stars of NBC.
you
Are both
going?
of you going?
Yeah, are you going?
Yeah.
You're not-
I wonder if we're going to be seated. Are we going to be seated next to each other? We
I
better.
think you should do
I'll be
that.
sitting in
We
between you.
are.
I'll be sitting in between
Yeah.
you.
By the way,
Really?
you're going to
Oh, it'd be
Deidre's.
like
You know,
a whole
Deidre's got
hallway.
they're giving a big party for those Walk of Fame this week.
Oh, okay.
Are you?
Yeah.
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 And after the Day of
Who else
Days,
is going?
I don't
we
know.
are having a meet and greet following the event from 7 to 9 p.m. here at AfterBuzz.
So you should come to this, Thaao.
What?
After the Day of Days, we're going to do a meet and greet here for our fans.
Oh, you
so they
are?
can come here.
Oh, that's so cool.
Is that an
You're more than
invitation?
welcome.
That's so
Yes.
cool.
You're more than
Speaking of
welcome to come.
fans, the person who actually sent you that message is in the chat, Mark. We Who Serve Art is
Oh, is he in the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
The name is Carol M.
Oh, Carol.
Carol.
Dotted line.
Is she a waitress?
Oh, fantastic.
CAROM.
Oh, there she is.
Dotted line.
Oh, I see it.
Is she-
Hi, Carol M. Carol M. There's no L. Carol M. All right,
Carol
thank
M.
you. You're my first Tumblr
I don't even know
message,
what Tumblr
and I don't know
is.
what it is still. All right, and then also that weekend, same as the Day of Days, and after our meet and greet on the 13th, Mary Beth Evans and Stephen Nichols will be doing a staged reading of Annapurna at Barnsdall Park in Los Feliz. You can go online for tickets. I do believe I have it, www.owss.net for tickets if you are interested in that.
And congratulations to former Chad, NBC's Casey Diedrich, who will be starring in Lifetime Network's psychological thriller A Midsummer's Nightmare. No
saw
air
that.
date yet has been
That's
announced.
so cool.
It's a new
but we will
pilot, new
update
show they're
when
doing.
we know more.
Great
Yeah.
headshot of him too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just saw, because I happen to follow Billy Flynn on Twitter, he will star in a new thriller by Steven C. Seffler titled DOA Blood River, set to start taping soon. So congratulations, Billy Flynn. And then I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about your cookbook. You said is out and about and on.
I'm so glad you
What
gave
is
me
the?
some
What
space.
is the? What is the?
We saved the best
What
for
is
last.
best for
Thaao.
last?
What is
Shopping,
the-
shopping network.
Shopping Network. That's what it is. Thank
Will we
you.
find these in your cookbook?
No, I don't think so. I'm not even. I mean, oh God. Anyway, do you notice that nobody's rushed to them?
I had one.
She did have one.
I
I
did.
was,
It
at
was-
one
Yeah,
point, I was
wanted
going to reach
more.
for it.
It was
but I
not
was-
a good spot for me.
Wasn't
I mean, if
bad.
I was
It wasn't
in
bad.
the Iraqi desert and everything
Yeah,
and was
see?
desperate,
It's
I
not
would
bad.
probably go for one.
If someone brought that to your dinner party, what would you think?
I don't think so. I don't. You don't serve that to people. I mean,
If you invite me, I'm bringing that.
who brings frozen food that put it in the microwave and then serve it to your
But
friends
I
for
wouldn't
dinner?
put it in the microwave. I'd
Thaao.
put it in the oven.
Mark and
The
I,
way it's
Mark and I are planning on coming to your next
Thank
dinner
you,
party.
Alexis.
You are?
Yes.
Even though you're not invited?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
We're just
I
gonna
like
crash
that.
it. We're gonna crash it. We're gonna be on the news.
So, did you want to follow with a question about the book, right?
Yes.
I want to hear
Yes.
all about it.
Sorry.
Tell us.
You sure?
Yes, please.
Oh my God.
Seducing celebrities? What are you? She's dreadful.
I give you credit. That is awesome.
You're
I said I
fearless.
give you credit. That is awesome. Wait a
Well-
minute. Did you have those cookies that you told me about in that cookbook?
Which one?
You know,
With the pot in them?
The ones that I took.
The what?
No, those cookies.
Hey.
You know those cookies? Those really special cookies that you cook? No.
No,
Special cookies.
I don't make. I make
You're a vixen. You 100% are a vixen.
That's the other side.
I just saw it though. I asked Mark on the way here. I said, "Is Lauren anything like Kate?" And he was like, "No, I'm not really." But you just kind of like you just like
She's there.
crawled on the table.
She's there.
You said, "Were there cookies in the cookbook?"
She's there.
Which ones were you talking about, honey?
You
In
know
case I
those,
missed it.
those darling ones that came from the island where your
Who?
family's from? You know those Greek
the
cookies?
Gurabiedas?
Yeah.
Yeah, what about them?
Are they in the
Are they,
cookbook?
are they in the cookbook too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was segueing for
Oh,
you.
I'm sorry.
Segueing.
Yeah, the celebratory cookies.
What's
I
in there?
got to wrap. Oh my God! Thank you for the last minute. No, you know, the idea came when I went to
And
Cuba.
That's a wrap.
Excuse me. My God! I'll deal with you later.
Should we just play the outro music, Alexis? We'll let Thaao take us out.
Oh my God!
Oh, no, it's
How do you do that to me? I'm trying to. Food is supposed to be
Goodness.
nourishment, and this guy's giving.
No, I was.
It was very interesting,
Thank you.
just in case you want to listen. The thing about Cuba in Havana, I went to a famous restaurant there, and there were all these famous actors, and I thought, oh, I wonder what they ordered. And I thought, well, I wonder what seduced them into this restaurant and the food. So that gave me the idea of seducing celebrities, and that's the way it started. So I put together all the people that I've ever crossed paths with, or people that I've cooked dinner with, and made this book. And it actually, I mean, I'm very proud of the book because the stories, with each person, if I'd invited them for dinner, what would have been the course? So I do 3 courses. So the whole book is about the story about them, from Jacqueline Kennedy down to Shirley MacLaine and
Wow.
Streisand. All the people that have crossed my path. Because you know, you look. By the time you get to my age, you have a history, right? So you look back at it. It's not funny, but you look back at it and you realize there's something to say. So I brought this food together with what I would have cooked for these people to seduce them.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
And the name of the book is,
Seducing Celebrities One Meal at a Time
and they can get it
on Amazon.
on Amazon.
Yeah.
Get it.
And then it's going
And
to be
then
on
you can
QVC.
take it to Day of Days.
Then we're going to do it on
if he
QVC.
goes and have him sign it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can sign it at Day of Days.
See?
Oh my God.
Gotta think like that.
Seriously.
All right.
That'll
So
be a
this
giveaway.
is.
You better get
Let's
it
wrap
now.
this up. Let's go around and tell everybody where they can follow you on social media.
That's it?
I know it went by
Oh
so
my
fast.
God.
I know.
Where can they
and we
follow
didn't even
you?
Did I say
we didn't even recap the show. Basically.
Where can they follow you?
Boom.
Where can they follow you?
He's gonna go now on Periscope and talk more.
What was your question?
Where can they find you on social media?
Come
Thaao
on.
Penghlis.
This is
At
gonna be great.
Thaao Penghlis.
Oh my
On
God.
Twitter. You're on Twitter.
Yeah, on Twitter and on Facebook.
And he's very good about tweeting back. So
I
at least
like
with
to.
me, he is.
Listen, I think it's so important to interact with
Yeah.
fans because they tell you the truth.
There was a girl, Amanda, that was messaging us today that is a big fan of yours, so she's probably going to be tweeting you later.
Oh.
She was
Yeah.
very excited that you were here.
Oh, thank you.
Matthew.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Matthew E. Paine.
Miss Koslow.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Lauren Koslow. I just make it easy. And Snapchat too.
I
See,
don't
I'm
do
starting.
Instagram. Is there one more? I mean,
Instagram is
But
really
you can
it's
link
fun,
it,
'cause
so
it's
if you
just
post on
images.
Instagram,
Yeah.
that goes to your
Yeah,
Twitter. So you
Instagram
can
Lady,
do it
where can
twice.
they find
and you
you?
can find me Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr, which I still don't know what it is.
I'm doing Tumblr too.
Tumblr, do it.
I'm gonna do Tumblr too.
Well, we can learn together because I have no idea. It's Lorraine Love, LORAYNE LOVE, and if you want to know what Lorraine Love is, Google it. It's
Lauren,
a whole nother
Thaao,
afternoon.
Thank you so much
Thank
for joining us. It was
you.
lovely.
Hey.
Thank you.
And thank
See
you
you
for
next
And
time.
Nikki,
And
and the
Nikki.
wine.
Thank you.
The wine.
Thank
And
you,
the-
Alexis.
And the
Good night.
pizza
Thanks,
bits.
Alexis.
Bye, guys.
Love you.
Love you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.